Well, hello, hello, Young and the Restless Daily Recap fans. Today's recap is for Cliffhanger Friday, although it wasn't a cliffhanger, but Friday, July the 29th on the Young and the Restless. Not too much action and activity for Friday. We have Tessa and Mariah, they're together. Getting ready to go to the doctor or to the hospital for Tessa to have her surgery on her the nodes that are on her vocal cords. So we shall see where that storyline is going to go. As soap operas tend to go, my prediction is there's going to be some, effort and extra recovery to get Tessa completely back to the road to health. I think she's going to have some issues that may threaten her career, but I don't know that they're truly going to really embark upon that. But I think we just might for a minute. So Mariah's trying to keep Tessa's energy up, emotions up. And when Tessa goes upstairs to get her bag for the hospital, she tells Sharon the truth because she can let Sharon know, look, I'm really worried. I'm trying to hold on for Mariah, but I'm definitely worried. So Sharon then gave Mariah a nice little pep talk. So they then head over. She gives Tessa this great little care package for her throat after, and they head over to the hospital, or Tessa takes it upstairs. That's when Mariah talks to Sharon, but then they head off to the hospital. So we shall see how that goes. What was interesting is Nick was in the Newman offices, upset, like, we know Nick's going to be for a while, and Chance comes in. And Chance's facial expression, his whole body language is he knows something is not right here. Okay. So he wants to get to the bottom of it, and he wants to kind of really solve this case properly, but he really does need to recuse himself. He is too close to the whole case, but we'll see what happens with that. But he's questioning Nick, and Vicky kind of comes in and interrupts, but not, abruptly. She acts like she didn't know that Chance was there. And she had said, can I, have some time with Nicholas? I haven't spoken to him since this whole ordeal happened. And Chance says, well, I'm done here. But he really was there to see Victoria. And he felt that it was a bad time for Victoria to, be out of town picking up her kids. But, it's like this. For one, Victoria's not under arrest. He didn't say don't leave town. Why? She's just going to pick up her kids. She's not going on vacation. She's taking them to a little kiddie theme park on the way back. Victoria will be back in town sooner than he'll have any answers to anything. So that wasn't really a big deal. What was interesting to me is Adam comes to the coffee house to get some coffee, and he's talking to Sharon, and Sharon is talking to Adam. Did anybody feel the way I'm feeling about that conversation? Yes, she was pretending to be pro Sally. But in other words, Sharon was still giving Adam the impression that you need someone to be close to and confide in. And pretty much she was kind of volunteering herself just by the way she was maneuvering that conversation. I thought, oh no, let's not do another Adam Sharon go round. Please, that's toxic for the both of them. I think Adam and Sharon is worse than Adam and Chelsea. So I don't know. I just got a weird vibe behind Sharon. Who else may feel that way? Because Sharon is lonely right now. She has really no one. She and Nick talk a lot, but there's no real chemistry between Nicholas and Sharon anymore at all. So I don't know. I want your comments on the whole situation. But the biggest moments were Kyle and Summer had to tell Harrison that his father would not be coming back to see him. You know, they had to kind of break the news that Ashlyn was dead. And, you know, to a young child who doesn't really understand finalness, you know, um, although they made him kind of understand when Ashlyn told him he was dying, you know, but now that this is final, and he said, but no, a father said he's going to see me again. And, you know, that kind of broke Kyle's heart just a little bit. But this is emotional for Kyle because, you know, he knows how he felt when Jack flew to boarding school in Switzerland and told him that Diane had died. So he's really emotional about this whole thing with how do I tell my son and telling my son this information. But you know, Summer's there to support him. She's actually a very good young stepmom. Summer, I like the way they kind of shaped up Summer, her character. But then, of course, as usual, it's a knock at the door, and who is it? Oh, Diane. And the first thing Diane always says when somebody opens the door, oh, you know, I probably should have called first. Or you think people do that? We have cell phones nowadays. Call to find out, is now a good time for me to come over? Goodness, text your son. You just get dressed and come right on over. And Jack was about to scurry her right on out of there. And Harrison hears her voice. It says, Dee Dee. So she walks right on past Jack and goes right on in, which is what she planned on doing. But she could see there was kind of some somberness going on in the room. And she's like, what's going on? And Summer actually gets up, and Summer ushers her, can I speak to you for a moment? Right on out. Summer was like, I'm getting rid of you. And so she's telling them, look, we have to tell, or they told her, she heard that they were breaking the news that Ashlyn was in an accident and he passed away. And she's looking. And so that's when Summer ushers her out and says, look, Kyle's having a rough time. You know, it's difficult for him to break this news, for us to break the news to Harrison. And quite frankly, it's bringing up some emotions from, you know, what happened to him as a boy, like, yeah, what you did to him. And so Diane is like, but in all honesty, that's the very reason why I should be here. And I'm thinking, really? Really? Is it Diane? No, I don't think so. You know, so Summer lets her come back in and, you know, lets Kyle know she feels it's okay if she's there. And of course, it ends up being Diane, the one who takes over the whole conversation and all the talking with her and just gives him examples. And she just ties it all up in a nice, neat little bow for little Harrison. And I'm thinking, well, that should have been Jack, you know, who didn't get to say anything, you know? So then Diane suggests, why don't I take him outside and we'll look for some leaves, you know? And he says, yes, he wanted to. And Summer's like, yeah, you know, she thinks it'd be good for him, you know, to go outside with his friend. So then Kyle looks and he comes over to the side of the couch where Diane and Harrison were. And he says, because Diane had hugged him, right? And he said, Harrison, I've got some news for you. Dee Dee is my mom, and Dee Dee is your grandmother. And of course, Diane was like, oh, because before then they didn't allow her to tell him the connection to her. And she was just like, oh, really? Oh my goodness. And what was interesting to me was the look on Jack's face. It was kind of a look of, I don't know about this. You know, Jack has gone along with everything, and he's going to go along with this. But the camera specifically zeroed in on Jack's look. It's like, I don't know if Diane should have been given that in, that much of an in. So I'm interested to see if Jack's going to voice his opinion either with Diane. I don't know if he'll voice it to Kyle. He possibly can. He may talk to Tracy. I really would like to know what Jack's true feelings are on that, because they specifically showed us that for a reason. I would like to know, what are your comments on that? Did anybody notice that other than me? Let me know in the comments. And speaking of comment corner, because that's pretty much all that happened on The Young and the Restless today. So let's go right on over to comment corner. And on comment corner, we do have a few comments. We have Annette. She made a couple comments that Adam is up to his old tricks, and Ashlyn too. Well, I think they kind of zeroed it in that Ashlyn is dead. Then they said Diane's character is another Sheila on The Bold and the Beautiful. Although, you know what, Sheila on The Bold and the Beautiful is absolutely positively crazy. Okay, homicidal and crazy. Diane is not really, I don't, homicidal and crazy. Now, she will ruin some relationships, wreck some lives, very manipulative, but yeah, I think Sheila got her, it was in a whole different category than Diane. And speaking of The Bold and the Beautiful, Annette, I am going to do a special recap Saturday, probably this weekend, on this entire past week of The Bold and the Beautiful. I really watch The Bold and the Beautiful. I peek in usually once a quarter, because that's all it takes to get completely caught up with that soap, in my opinion. I'm not saying anything negative. It just moves slow to me. And so I just catch up. And I knew once we found out Finn was alive, I've really kind of been keeping my eye on the show. And this past week was kind of a big week with revelations. So I'm going to do a special week recap of The Bold and the Beautiful. I'll talk about that on the recap. I just didn't like the way it ended today, but we'll talk about that later. So anyway, thank you, Annette, for that. And Amanda says that this show is longer than her life, so you must be a new watcher of The Young and the Restless. And Mary said that Diane is so rude, she can't stand her. Diane has always been rude, under the guise of, oh, you know what? I guess I must have overspoken. Yeah, sure. And then let's see what else we have. Monique said, didn't we learn anything? Oh, yeah, she is comparing the fact that they sure didn't know that how to really read pulses and Ashlyn was dead. Really, he true. Well, so guess what? Victoria, and Nick did know how to tell some pulses, didn't they? They said he was dead. And guess what? No matter what Victor orchestrated, Ashlyn Locke was really dead. So, that is it for The Young and the Restless. That is my daily recap. Let's see what action we have next week on The Young and the Restless. I will be back on Monday. Everybody have a phenomenal weekend. And if you are a Bold and the Beautiful fan, check out my special recap that I'm going to do for the whole week, for all of this past week on The Bold and the Beautiful.